Hi Bill, this is the Water is Wide number 2. I re-scored it for you and sent that, and now where the melody falls, I took out the accompaniment part, and I also made the dynamics different on the GP6 file, so the melody should be louder than the accompaniment. I also unplugged my guitar from the speaker so you can hear what it sounds like, so to speak, you know, just without the amplifier. Okay, you get the idea. So it's basically every other measure is the melody, and then it's the accompaniment. So and it should be a lot easier to hear now because I took out all the accompaniment during the melody parts. So you said, how do you practice it? Well, you know, it's a C chord to start, so I would hold that first of all, and then just pick out the notes that are appropriate in the pickup measure. So, and then you're already there with the C chord. Now I simplified that measure greatly because you and some other folks were having tremendous questions on that F measure, and I guess I didn't think that was hard, but I just simplified it a lot. So measure 3 will sound at the beginning. Much simpler. You just hit the F note, then release it and play melody, and now you've got. Now that's all accompaniment. There's no melody there. That's all accompaniment. Now, when there's a single note, it's the melody again. Now, accompaniment. Single notes, melody. Accompaniment. Melody. Accompaniment. Back and forth, you get the idea. So, I look at the chord shapes, obviously, in the notation as I'm playing along, and a lot of the times you're just holding a chord. One thing that you may not be realizing is after I come off the A minor, my first finger, I did not move it for the measure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, measure 7. And then when I put the D note down, I left my little finger there. You could use 3rd, whatever you want, but I think 4th is what I mark. Now, see, it's still sitting there ready to play as I do the accompaniment down here. Then, now that might be hard where you have to go. Hold that note while you start playing that accompaniment. I do realize that, but that's about bringing the elbow and the wrist bent forward like this, you know. You know, now that's a full F chord, but again, there's only 2 notes listed and then an F note by itself. So if you don't want to put the whole thing down, it's totally fine, but sometimes it's easier to put the chord down, because then if you hit like one of the other notes, it doesn't sound like it's clashing. Now, someone else that had tried this, because I popped it on the website, they were struggling with this part. Putting down 3 and 4 right there, and then 2 and 1. So I said, well, the second finger's here. If you go backwards, you can put that on the 3rd fret, and then the 3rd finger here. And then slide the 2nd finger back and put the 1st finger down. Instead of these 2. That's what I have written. This is what you could do. So 2 and 3, and then it slides in. I don't play that way. I wasn't taught that way in classical. You always put 3 and 4 and then 2 and 1, but it doesn't matter. So then, and that's A minor 7 into an F chord right there. Then you're holding that. You play the melody. So I've still got all that held, and then I switch to C, A minor 7, F, and then G sus4. So, practicing any song, I always put 2 measures together and try to get those 2. And that's a bit of the 3rd measure there too. So, once you get that, then you put 3 measures together. Then you put 4 measures together, and you try to stack it in. This Water is Wide Part 2 should be a lot easier to play. I took out, like I said, the accompaniment under the melody. You should be able to hear the melody a lot better. And then once you get this, if you're like, oh, okay, now I want to put the other one back in, then you can go back to the other one. But I'll play it one more time here. So last thing I'll say is, when you're practicing, you may, for instance, you may find this, I'm just going to say this is hard. And getting into that kind of thing. So, slow down. And really work on the arch of the fingers, the arch of the hand there, so you're, because a lot of people were, and if you don't have that bent up, now I'm sitting a little funny, so it might look like my arm is really exaggerated there, so don't let that fool you. I've got the guitar kind of up here, because I want you to be able to see what I'm doing, so, but again, that's another thing. A lot of people sit and it's on their leg, and the guitar's down here. So now, if it's on my leg, really, my angle's not right. I have to really force it. But if I use my guitar strap and I angle the neck up here, I can let go of the guitar. I've got the strap on. Now, I can really... See how this gives me a lot of leeway. The other thing to look for is your thumb. If you're playing along and there's a lot of thumb just kind of hanging around, I can't even make a note if my thumb's over here. I have to play like this because I don't have long fingers. If I try to do that, I can't even make it sound. So I didn't have a choice, which is probably good for your technique. You have to kind of... Okay, enough about that. In terms of the guitar, yeah, just let me know about the pricing and all that. And then I'll have them put it on layaway or whatever. I'll even go over and play it and make a video for you so you can hear it too. So, alright, see ya.